Good morning, and welcome to the St. John's University's undergraduate virtual commencement and degree conferral ceremony for the class of 2021. I am Dr. Simon Moller, and I'm privileged and proud to serve as Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs here at St. John's University. On behalf of the entire university community, I thank you for joining us as we honor and recognize the achievements of our undergraduates from our Queens, Staten Island, and Manhattan campuses. As we come to the close of our sesquicentennial anniversary year, celebrating 150 years faithful to the mission, we take the time to honor the generations of Johnnies who came before us, as well as you, our soon-to-be St. John's graduates. Today we come together as a university community to congratulate and to confer the degrees of our more than 2,600 undergraduate students who have worked so hard to complete their academic studies. During the ceremony, we will individually recognize each of our graduates by reading their names and presenting their graduate slide by school and college. Following the ceremony, graduates, families, and friends will be able to view and download individual graduate slides directly from the website. It is now my pleasure to introduce Princewell U. Uviovo, a Bachelor of Science candidate from the Peter J. Tobin College of Business, who will sing the national anthem. Immediately following the national anthem, please join us in prayer as Reverend Bernard M. Tracy, CM, Executive Vice President for Mission, delivers the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we won were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Today, we gather to confer degrees and celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2021. Over this past year, you, our graduates, remained resilient and determined despite all the unexpected moments and challenges you faced due to the coronavirus. And for that, we are grateful. At this moment, for those graduating, as your past as students and your future as alumni of St. John's are united, we ask every blessing from our gracious God. May you rejoice in your accomplishments and be thankful for all who have made this moment possible through their loving support: parents, spouses, partners, siblings, friends, mentors, professors, and coaches. Gracious God, sustainer of life, support and strengthening the graduates as they journey into the future, complicated by this coronavirus and its worldwide effects. May you experience God's guidance on your journey in these unprecedented times. May you know God's presence as you reach out to those experiencing injustice and oppression. May you encounter God's peace in your concerns and fears. May you feel God's steadfast love in your faithful witness. May your faith be deepened with every new experience, and your heart be filled with joy and hope in the future. Amen.
Thank you, Father Tracy. Once again, good morning, St. John's University class of 2021, family and friends. I'm Reverend Brian J. Shanley, OP, and it is my great pleasure to serve as president of St. John's University. At a pivotal moment in The Lord of the Rings, Frodo, the ring-bearer, laments, "I wish it need not have happened in my time." Gandalf the wizard replies, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us." We all wish that the pandemic did not happen in our time, but it did. And we all had to decide what to do with the difficult time given to us. You chose to finish your education and get your degree from St. John's University. That accomplishment was not easy. You had to battle not only the coronavirus, but many other obstacles as well. Negotiating multiple modes of instruction, technological challenges, economic stress, anxiety, isolation, and uncertainty. But you did. I admire and applaud you for what you have accomplished. In completing your degree in this difficult time, you learned a valuable lesson about yourself that bodes well for your future. You have grit, which the psychologist Angela Duckworth describes as the combination of passion and perseverance in the pursuit of a singular goal. It is the mark of high achievers, and it lies within you. But grit alone did not get you to this moment. You were supported, encouraged, and nurtured by family, friends, and fellow members of the St. John's community, from faculty to administrators to friends. As you reflect upon the people who helped you achieve this goal, say a prayer of thanks to God for them, and let them know how grateful you are for what they have given you. Start with the people you are watching this with. One of the disguised blessings that we can find in this difficult time is not to take anything for granted. You graduate from St. John's University at a critical moment in its history as we celebrate our 150th anniversary. Just as individuals can develop grit over time, so too can institutions. St. John's history is marked by difficult periods when it persevered through wars, epidemics, economic downturns, 9/11, and all the other hardships that our city and our country have known. The passion for the underlying Catholic and Vincentian mission to educate first-generation students has been faithfully served and strengthened throughout our history. Your grit comes from the history of St. John's grit. One of the marks of grit is hope. Hope is not a state of denial about the difficulties that must be faced. It is rather an optimism that with persistence, passion, and purpose, we can together fashion a better and more just world to the benefit of our brothers and sisters. It is for this mission that we have given you your gritty St. John's education. Go forth from here with that hope, knowing that underneath all grit lies the loving grace of God, who brought you to St. John's and now sends you forth. May that God guide and bless all you do. It is now my honor to present to you this year's commencement speaker, Frank A. D'Amelio. Frank currently serves as Chief Financial Officer and Executive Vice President of Global Supply at Pfizer Incorporated, and is an alumnus of St. John's University's Staten Island campus, earning his Master of Business Administration degree in 1983 from the College of Business Administration.
Thank you, President Shenley. I am deeply honored to have this opportunity to address the St. John's graduating class of 2021. Today begins the ritual of graduation and celebration. For faculty, it marks the end of weeks of double vision from correcting papers and final exams, mostly online. For parents, it marks the end of tuition payments. And for you students, it's the university's last attempt to commandeer your time. Accordingly, the university schedules me in the middle of this ritual, and it may seem that my job is to make you wait just a little bit longer for your moment of glory and for that first post-commencement photo and sigh of relief. But fear not. When it comes to public speaking, I'm a firm believer that no souls get saved after 10 minutes. As President Shenley mentioned, I received my MBA from St. John's in 1983, from a program that began the September after I graduated from college. I went to school part-time nights, so I worked simultaneously. For 4 years, I attended classes 2 nights a week on the Staten Island campus. Many people think I chose the St. John's program because it was close to work, offered a great education, because I had always gone to a Catholic school, St. Peter's Prep and St. Peter's College. But I actually chose St. John's because the nights that I had classes, I drove to Staten Island through Hudson County, New Jersey, stopping along the way at my girlfriend's house in Jersey City, where her mother, a great Italian cook, always had a hot dinner waiting for me. That girlfriend actually became my wife. We're married now 37 years. And my 89-year-old mother-in-law to this day is still making dinners for me. So to borrow one of my favorite quotes when choosing St. John's, I chose wisely. You too have chosen wisely in selecting St. John's. When you began your program several years ago, never would you have imagined a pandemic causing a global shutdown, never would you have imagined remote learning, and never would you have imagined a virtual commencement. In short, your last year and a half of school has been marked by the most adverse global challenge that we've experienced in nearly a century. And yet, here you are. You are resilient, you have not only survived, you have succeeded, and you have thrived. This was due in large part to St. John's 150 years of steadfast faith to its mission, committed to academic excellence and the pursuit of wisdom, providing students the skills to analyze and articulate clearly what is. But perhaps even more important, fostering the values to both imagine and realize what might be. In March of 2020, Pfizer's chairman posed the following question about ending the pandemic to his leadership team. He asked, "If not us, then who?" Steadfast to Pfizer's own purpose, breakthroughs that change patients' lives, the team was charged with thinking big and shaking off the constraints of existing processes and past achievements to deliver a life-saving vaccine in record time. Had we relied upon the past, we would have merely made improvements to what was already in place. Improvements wouldn't have brought us even close to achieving the goal of ending the pandemic. This was about so much more than just incremental change. This required far, far out-of-the-box thinking. It required completely new ways of working. Instead of asking scientists to create a vaccine in 8 years rather than 10, we asked them to do it in 8 months. Instead of asking our engineers to manufacture 250 million doses within a year, we asked them to make 2.5 billion. By collectively imagining and realizing what might be, we made what was heretofore impossible, possible. I come from a large Italian family founded by immigrants who came to the United States within the last century. Superstition, the concept of being lucky, has always been part of our vernacular and our culture. And this year, I've often heard that our ability to deliver a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine was the result of good luck. However, I can tell you that is categorically untrue. Luck doesn't come to the unprepared. Luck is the result of good preparation. Pfizer, as a pharmaceutical company, had been preparing for a challenge like this. As the Chief Financial Officer, I'm tasked with allocating capital in a responsible, disciplined fashion, relying upon extensive analysis and experience. But when the pandemic challenge came, I said, spend the money. No business case, no discounted cash flow analysis, no Monte Carlo simulations necessary, just spend the money. This was the first time in my career, heck, it's the first time in my entire life that I said, just spend the money. My colleagues were shocked, as if it were the moment that hell had frozen over. Truth is, I too had been preparing for such a challenge my entire life. Yes, I'd always worked hard, performed well, had a disciplined, laser-like focus on the most critical financial metrics. But performing well is merely the price of admission. It isn't nearly enough to prepare for the challenge of a lifetime. Throughout my career, I had stepped forward for the special project that no one else would touch because it was typically a crisis. I raised my hand when others were ducking their heads. It's very easy to tell the good story, launch the newest technology, but it's really, really difficult to save a company from bankruptcy. In my case, namely Lucent Technologies. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone to learn what is important to people from diverse disciplines. Knowing all I needed to know from the financial side of the business gave me a parochial view of companies. But taking on a marketing position or embedding myself in a manufacturing organization allowed me to experience the critical functions that truly make a company run. Finally, and perhaps most important, I've surrounded myself with the most brilliant, most capable people and put them on my team at my side. Then I forced them to challenge my thinking because at the end of the day, all of us are smarter than any one of us. Because I had adhered to these principles at Pfizer, my team and I had the capital to deploy and deploy quickly because it was truly a life or death situation. We were able to invest in research and new equipment and to make a potential vaccine, months and months before we knew it would even be effective. In short, we invested at risk. We broke all of our previous adhered to beliefs about what was deemed possible. Was it comfortable? No. Did we lose sleep? Yes. But if not us, then who? I could talk about Pfizer's road to the vaccine for hours, but I promised brevity. So let me close with the following. For you students, today I ask you to celebrate your accomplishments and your ability to overcome never dreamed of before hurdles. But tomorrow, I ask you to eagerly look to the future and think of what might be. Close your future days by thinking about the value that you've created for the people and society around you. Think not only of your career, but also of your home, your family, your community, your spiritual center, your country, and our world. Remember, you now have the skills and knowledge you'll need to thrive personally and make a difference for those around you. Remember that you live in a society that will do more good for people than any other society on this planet. I assure you that when I graduated from St. John's, I never dreamed I'd have the opportunity to battle a global pandemic and hopefully change the world. So remember, you have it in your power to make a real difference in the course of human history. Ask yourself every night, if not you, then who? And remember that saying, more relevant today than it was said more than a century ago. A ship is safest in its harbor, but that's not what a ship is built to do. Congratulations to the class of 2021, and thank you. Good luck, stay healthy, and God bless all of you and your families.
Thank you, Frank. At this time, it is my honor to present the recipient of the Vincentian Mission Award. Over the last 4 years, the class of 2021 has demonstrated its commitment to the university's Vincentian mission in countless ways. As a university, we are profoundly grateful for the many experiences of service in which our students have engaged, honoring the spirit of our Vincentian tradition and the legacy of St. Vincent de Paul. This honor is presented to graduating seniors who have most exemplified the spirit and compassion of St. Vincent de Paul, the founder of the Congregation of the Mission. This year's recipient is Jacqueline Alvarez Vaca, Bachelor of Arts candidate, St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Queens Campus. Congratulations, Jackie.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Catherine Hutchinson, Vice President for Student Affairs at St. John's University. And it gives me great pleasure to present the Outstanding Student Achievement Medals, which are awarded to graduating seniors who have made an exceptional contribution to the extracurricular life of St. John's University, as demonstrated by a significant leadership role. After reviewing recommendations from faculty and administrators, a selection committee recommends the students to the provost of the university to receive this medal. This year's recipients of the Outstanding Student Achievement Medals are Spela Kunstel, Bachelor of Science candidate in St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Queens Campus. Arpit K. Nagra, Bachelor of Arts candidate in St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Staten Island Campus. And Ryan M. Vent, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business, Queens Campus. All three of these outstanding individuals are also members of the President's Society. Congratulations to all of you. At this most significant moment in the lives of our graduates, we customarily ask a student from the Queens and Staten Island campuses to speak on behalf of their classmates. It is now my privilege to present to you this year's student speakers. Jacqueline Lepore, Bachelor of Arts candidate in St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Staten Island Campus. And Harrison B. Harvey, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business, Queens Campus, and member of the President's Society.
Greetings, Reverend President Shanley, trustees, faculty, administration, family, and especially the graduates of the class of 2021. I am honored to stand before you today representing the Staten Island campus. Today we gather, albeit virtually, to celebrate our collective resilience. Although we feel an immense loss, the events of the previous year will never erase all that we gained. Our campus home will always hold the memories of the laughter, camaraderie, the community that we share. The achievements we attained individually and as a class led up to this very moment, our graduation. Graduation represents the culmination of our academic and extracurricular efforts, including the endless event planning, the service to our community, the switch to virtual learning amidst a global pandemic, and the one too many all-nighters spent preparing for finals. Our achievements pave the bright paths ahead as educators, innovators, entrepreneurs, carrying the foundation of our university mission into all of our future endeavors. This mission challenges us to be excellent professionals with an ability to analyze and articulate clearly what is, but also to develop the ethical and aesthetic values to imagine and help realize what might be. Think about that for just a moment. What might be? Although we cannot predict the future, our foundation built at this outstanding university will always provide us with the stepping stones for what might be. Throughout life, we can always look back on our lessons learned for strength and leadership because St. John's is our forever home. When I think of a home, the first words that come to mind are comfort, freedom, and acceptance. As Elvis Presley puts it, home is where the heart is. St. John's University's Staten Island campus acts as precisely that, a home. The campus embraces dedicated students, exceptional young leaders, and Johnny Thunderbird, of course. At Accepted Students Day, which seems like a lifetime ago, I immediately felt the university's warm embrace. This small, beautiful campus would be my home. I knew it. Before meeting the students, the faculty, before having experienced all that St. John's would have to offer. As a graduating senior, I still feel that intense rush I did 4 years ago, only now wholly appreciating why this university provides a home to me and the entirety of the student body. At St. John's, the faculty treats students as individuals, not numbers. At St. John's, students go through their college years as a community, not as strangers. At St. John's, our classes become a family, not a competition. From the library to the caf, you're bound to see a familiar face making you feel right at home and never alone. There's always something happening on campus. Between meeting with classmates and club events, loneliness entirely dissipates. This astounding university accentuated our most positive qualities and brought out the leader in us all. My journey started long before I stepped foot on campus. It began in 1990 when my parents met for the first time in Mahoney as juniors. We reminisce about similar college experiences, such as spending our free time with friends in the Rat. Back when they graduated in 1991, they never would have expected that their oldest daughter would be in the same place as them just 30 years later. I'm sure countless of you share similar stories, as love tends to blossom here. St. John's University shaped our home. I'm confident it shaped so many others. Our campus dawns lifelong friendships, family bonds, and everlasting legacies. I bring us back to our mission statement, which poses the question, what might be? The past year completely redefined our outlook. Life can change in just a moment. Since our start, the class of 2021 inspired that change. We won't wait for what might be. We strive for what will be, and we will make it happen. Our home inspired us. Our home always will.
In the 150th year of celebrating St. John's University and the teachings of St. Vincent de Paul, especially his focus on service, I remember my first year as being a mentor in the RISE Network program. RISE stands for Reach, Inspire, Succeed, and Empower, a network that assists Black and Latinx freshmen with the transition from high school to college. At the end of our introductory meeting, each student was given a book. And just like every book, I judged it by its cover. I looked at the boring font on the slick black cover and then turned the book to its side. The spine read, "There's no plan B for your A game," by Bo Eason. The same message was on the front, but sideways it was more convincing. I never opened that book, never read a page for motivation or tried to skim the chapters, hoping my eyes would lead me to the right passage that would change my life. Even when RISE held impactful scholar networking events, or my brief check-ins with the leaders of the program, I still never read the book. It never crossed my mind. Years later now, stuck in the house during the pandemic, on my 7th and possibly final attempt to successfully read outside the classroom, in a random and neglected pile of books, I noticed the slick black cover, and the words a little less boring this time, laying there on its side, staring back at me. I grabbed the book and flipped to the final page to see whether or not this spontaneous gust of motivation would be in vain. After realizing this could be a quick read, I decided to begin. At the top of the page, in all caps, it read, "Acknowledgements." And below, on a line of its own, boxed in blue pen, "No one wins alone." As I reflected on these words and the fact that I decided that the message was more important than the other words on the page, compelling me to read on, I was intensely focused on how the book was right. No one wins alone. Then it dawned on me. That's really what it means when people say, we are St. John's. We win together. And together, we have cultivated a culture of community, care, and confidence. A place where faculty and administration push students to exceed beyond their potential. Where standing out looks like standing together for one another. In this place, each student exhibits the core values of the mission of this university: truth, love, respect, opportunity, service, and excellence. Today we recognize each of you. Each and every one of you, whether you know it or not, has impacted St. John's in your own unique way. Thank you for your perseverance, your focus, your grit. Thank you for the impact of your accomplishments, past, present, and future. For the happiness and joy you've left on the hearts of those you've come across. Thank you for fighting to create a world that is safe and just for all people. Thank you for helping others along the way while remaining true to yourself. Hopefully, in the midst of all the celebrations, you take a moment to reflect, to thank yourself, to be proud of your newest accomplishment, and to rejuvenate your excitement for what's next. And as you move forward, regardless of the path you take, embrace your excellence. Live with passion and purpose while using the knowledge you learned from this great university, the class of 2021. Although we're being celebrated today, let us recognize that this is not an individual award, rather a reminder of the journey leading you to this moment and remembering those who helped you along the way, the ones who are next to you and the ones who are not, for reasons beyond ourselves. It's a reminder of all the good moments and the bad moments too, all of the positive growth and lessons learned the hard way, the major mess-ups we don't want to remember, and the nights we wish to never forget. But most of all, a token of proof to you, your family, and the rest of your team that you have the power, intelligence, and capability to achieve any goal, especially when you are not alone. So, when you receive your diploma, flip it open and read your name, hopefully you can imagine, in the space below, on a line of its own, boxed in blue pen, we are St. John's. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Jacqueline and Harrison. At this point in our program, we wish to recognize the graduating members of our President's Society. Membership in the President's Society is the highest honor our university can bestow upon an undergraduate. Students are selected as juniors, and during the senior year, they serve as ambassadors and members of the President's support staff. Their selection to the President's Society is based on both academic achievements and significant contributions to the extra and co-curricular life at the university. Amanda M. Belgrave, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Liam Benjamin, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Charisma S. Collins, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Leslie H. and William L. Collins College of Professional Studies. Emily D. Alessandro, Bachelor of Science in Education candidate in the School of Education. Joasha Drakes, Bachelor of Science candidate, the Leslie H. and William L. Collins College of Professional Studies. Julia M. Gonzalez, Bachelor of Arts candidate in St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Harrison B. Harvey, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Rebecca Humbrecht, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Leslie H. and William L. Collins College of Professional Studies, Staten Island. Matthew Kirchenheiter, Bachelor of Science in Education candidate in the School of Education. Spila Kunstel, Bachelor of Science candidate in St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Jenna M. Marandino, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Marissa L. Murgolo, Bachelor of Science in Education candidate in the School of Education. Arpit K. Nagra, Bachelor of Arts candidate in St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Staten Island. Teresa Neri, Bachelor of Science in Education candidate in the School of Education. Anthony A. Salvia, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Leslie H. and William L. Collins College of Professional Studies. Ainsley Sonnier, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Ryan M. Vent, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Kaylee Wood, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business. Mary Antonia Cervelos, Bachelor of Science candidate in the Leslie H. and William L. Collins College of Professional Studies. Congratulations. Reverend President, as Provost, it is now my privilege, having been duly informed by the various faculties of the university, to certify the candidates who will be presented for degrees earned in course have satisfactorily completed all coursework leading to these degrees.
Having received the testimony of the deans and the university provost that these candidates have satisfactorily complied with all the requirements demanded by the statutes, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the State of New York, with the approval of the Board of Trustees of St. John's University, and as president of the university, I hereby confer the degrees named to these candidates and bestow on them every right and privilege attached to these degrees. Congratulations.
And now, the moment that you have all worked so long and hard for, the presentation of the graduates for individual recognition. Reverend President, I have the honor to present the graduates of the programs of study offered by the undergraduate divisions of the schools and colleges of St. John's University.
I am Norianne Sharp, Dean of the Peter J. Tobin College of Business, and it is my honor and privilege to wish you a heartfelt congratulations on behalf of the entire Tobin faculty. We are proud of your accomplishments, and we wish you the best of luck in your graduate work or your career. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Aaron Acosta, Amrit Aditya, Samith Afzal, Oluwatosin Akinbade, Nicholas Alexander, Christopher Alfaro, Cassandra Alfaro, Aliza Ali, Umer Ali, James Almanzar, Clarissa Alvarez, Christian Amazon, Tina Anello, Samantha Anthony, Cheyenne Antoine, Krista Apostle, Jacob Apsey, Khaled Atala, Thomas Aletti, Daniel Baez, Kashawn Bailey, Gabriela Ballon, Armani Natea Baptisto Matero, Victoria Barbara, Christopher Barker, Matthew Barone, Giovanni Barella, Michael Barron, Nitin Basra, Jasmine Batikon, Husna Better, Caleb Belay, Amanda Belgrave, Liam Benjamin, Ryan Bergleitner, Bianca Berman, Nicholas Bermudez Magana, Giovanni Bacuzzi, Jennifer Bonilla, Zoe Bowen, Alexis Bryce, Stephen Bryan, Johnny Brown, Jackson Brown, Riley Brown, Vincent Robert Brown, Renata Bruno, Joseph Brusseler, Nicholas Brusseler, Maria Buffalino, Kiana Burns, Rafael Bustamante, Danielle Bustos, Michael Byrne, Camille Cadet, Kevin Calandra, Brianna Calvani, Mariah Capone, Anthony Caputo, Catherine Caravello, Joseph Cardinal, Alexis Carls, Gianluca Carlin Oriundo, Andrew Carey, Joseph Casillo, Andrea Castro, Brian Castro, Alexis Charadimu, Bochen Chen, Danny Chen, Tiansong Chen, Yanjun Chen, Yuan Hao Chen, Tammy Ching, Eleftheria Krista Jorgu, Thomas Chu, Nadia Sianka, Antonio Chikwamani, Christian Cirillo, Brendan Cisneros, Colin Klein, Quinn Cochran, Christina Colasono, Nicholas Coletti, Daniel Kalura, Andre Constantine, Rosario Correo, Mary Costa, Michael Coviello, Thomas Cronin, Rose Cunningham, Jared Curiel, Liam Curran, Malik Curry, Megan Curry, Connie Cusco, Nicholas Damiano, Matthew D'Amico, Brandon Davis, Jennifer Davis, Jared Day, James DeFranco, Alexander DeAngelis, Eric de Caminata, Jed Dong, Nicholas Diodato, Daniel DeSena, Dylan Desir, Saj D, Sarah Dia Schneider, Rachel Diaz, Christian DeLone, Calogero Di Maria, Andrew DePuri, Akasha Deyanuj, Sean Donnelly, Ty Duffy, Marco DeMunchich, Ajani Dunbar, Oluwari Bigbe Durasoga, Sean Etram, Joseph Eisinger, Brian Elliott, Nicole English, Temitayo Ipamolu, Simone Epperson, George Eskandar, Joanna Estanislao, Zaire Evans, Carly Exum, Ahmed Fayaz, Nicholas Fazzolari, Taylor Faliu, Marina Femia, Denny Feng, Joshua Fernandez, Alana Furson, Christopher Festa, Oriana Fetty, Rafaela Fidanza, Alexandra Fittipaldi, Timothy Flynn, Ryan Foley, Justin Foles, Joseph Foster, Leanne Fredericks, Tiffany Fung, Tammy Rihanna Fife, Crystal Gagnon, Nicole Galasso, Ryan Gallagher, David Gallo, Juliana Gallo, Matthew Gambino, Michelle Gao, David Garcia, Joseph Garda, Thati Gautier, Stephen Gavrilides, Antonio Genovese, Michael George, John Georgiou, Sabrina Giazzi, Pietro Giglio, Patrick Gigliotti, Gasper Georgi, Mirsad Janbalai, Kreisel Gladson, Andrew Glover, William Gohl, Zuska Gomez, Diego Gonzalez, Manuela Gonzalez, Andrea Goodman, Peter Grabowski, Michael Graniello, Brian Gramajo, Jonathan Green, Rodney Gregory, Joanna Grillo, Jose Grullon, Matthew Giel, Wen Guo, Fernando Gutierrez, Robert Geyer Indak, Hawate Haile, Shoundel Hall, Anthony Hallowell, Samuel Hart, Harrison Harvey, Shanshan He, Shinlin He, Patrick Hardy, Nicole Haravi, Brenda Heredia, Paula Hernandez, Connor Higgins, Kevin Hine, Matthew Hine, Jan Hoffelner, Destiny Holly, Justin Holloway, Hakeem Holmes, Kadasha Hoppy, Lauren Horan, Tahira Houston, Talar Hovsepian, Robert Howes, Tao Huang, Yongheng Wang, Justin Hugas, Sean Hunt, Alexa Iacovino, Sophia Ibrahim, Oluwatimi Leyin Idowu, Eric Iglesias, Devin Isaac, Shania Ishridas, Elijah Jackman, Alyssa Jackson, Roderick Jackson, Rafa Jalil, Jocelyn Hara, Hao Song Ji, Francisco Jimenez Echeverria, Brandon Johnson, Tiagra Johnson, Gunnar Jones, Leilani Jones, Subrad Kafli, Farishta Cocker, Zoe Kaoris, Zachary Kapilovic, Shweta Kapoor, Jeremiah Kadigbak, Jasmine Kaur, Novapreet Kaur, Pradeepa Kaur, Lauren Keene, Ryan Kelly, Nicholas Kerner, Dunya Khalil, Shane Khan, Yasmin Khan, Aaron Kiltica, Nicholas Kilmer, Courtney Kilway, Ryan Kimiati, Ashley Kissoon, Griffin Klinga, Caitlin Knobloch, Gregory Kublal, Nicholas Kuar, Othone Cordistos, Michael Kowaleski, Ciara Kruk, Kinga Krushetska, Damian Kubai, Ashlyn LeBranch, Vanessa Lacacia, Jacob Lane, Luke Lanza, Kevin Lasica, Joseph Lasora, Christy Latsunas, Tracy LaValle, Mark Lavilla, Anthony Lawrence, Abby Ledbetter, Matthew Lestrange, Stephen Liu, Julian Lewis, Justin Lewis, Tony Lee, Xiaopeng Li, Chanmin Liang, Eddie Liang, Justin Liang, Ruya Lin, Katerina Lapotica, Su Chao Liu, Stephanie Liz, Samantha Lockle, Abigail Lamonto, Santiago Lopez Herrera, Kirsten Lomera, William Louie, Miranda Lynch, Brendan Mackey, Francis Madalena, Joseph Magiera, Brandon Mahabir, Ramin Madavi, Ethan Mayer, Juliana Molatino, Madison Malfi, Stavros Malis, John Malloy, Nicholas Mangone, Darren Mirage, Declan Marcella, Macy Marcello, Carmine Marchese, Caitlin Marino, Justina Marcu, Itzamani Marquez, Jenna Marandino, Lindsay Martelli, John Martinez, Virginia Martinez, Jessica Martino, Elena Martosi, Brent Masters, Jodianne Matamis, Jaime Matthew, Kyle Mathewson, Tresden Matthews, Arosha Mazar, Marco Mazza, Salvatore Mazzara, Jordan McCullough, Nina McCullough, Calvin McCombs, Robert McCurleen, Sean McGeehan, Kevin McGinn, Ryan McKenna, Carter McLean, Becky May, David May Wu, Alexandra Mendez Gill, Samantha Meaniley, Andres Mercado, Maria Michaelides, Edward Miller, Melissa Milo, Jake Middleman, Fariel Mohammed, Michelle Molina, Sky Malika, Kayla Maloney, Gregory Monahan, Caitlin Montgomery, Andrew Moore, Samantha Moore, Fernando Morales, Joanna Moracho, Rebecca Marukian, Alistair Mosher, John Matizi, Nadia Mustafa, Malik Muhammad, Evan Murdoch, Brendan Murphy, Ian Murphy, Satchel Murphy, Vanessa Navarrete, Olivia Nealon, Allie Nelson, Emma Neville Taylor, Brandon Ing, Carmen Eng, Elizabeth Nguyen, Johnny Nguyen, Mai Nguyen, Ashley Nicholson, Cindy Nicola, Michael Noon, Tenzin Norden, Micah Norris, Jasmine Nunez, Ong Nian, James O'Boyle, Kelsey O'Brien, Connor O'Carroll, Chinadu Ofebu, Leonarda Okpik, Joseph Orlando, Ricardo Ortiz, Alexander Ortiz Jr., Ashley Otavalo, Devesh Pahilajani, Mary Lee Palumbo, Weishin Pang, Nicole Pansini, Diamanda Papagiannakis, Stephanie Paputsakis, Priya Pare, Daisy Pardesi, Jordan Parker, Justine Pasquale, Biana Pasalacqua, Frank Padalano, Kajal Patel, Shiv Patel, Christy Payton, Jesus Pedrosa, Nicole Pelletieri, Vincent Perugini, Byreem Perasevich, Melissa Perez, Monica Perez, James Perrone, Martin Parati, Gianna Petraglia, Michael Petrochenko, Anjali Parsi, Diana Picarella, Giancarlo Pilato, Lucas Pozzolico, Connor Powell, Diamond Powell, Catherine Pozo Olano, Sarvesh Pradhan, Danielle Prokopinko, Brandon Presbyzewski, Pietro Puglisi, Vincent Pulcrano, Xinjia Chu, Daniel Quattrochi, Faizan Rahil, Samayo Rahman, Asia Raja, Daniel Ramirez, Frank Rao, Brianna Raposo, Vincent Rosano, Christian Rega, Connor Regan, L'Oreal Reed, Colin Riley, Alicia Reinke, Tiffany Revioso, Carson Ray, Kevin Reyes, Marianne Riquelme, Giancarlo Rivera, Peter Reverso, Andrea Vittoria Rizzi, Enrique Roa, Brian Roach, Anthony Rabiglio, Matthew Rocchio, Jasmine Rodriguez, Melissa Rodriguez, Justin Roland, Ayana Romaine, Robert Ronska, Alexis Russell, Anthony Russo, Francois St-Cyr, Samantha Salerno, Lillian Samuel, Andrew Sapia, Rahul Saraya, Frank Scandaglia, Nora Scaturo, Frank Shembri, Hannah Scott, Daria Semisinova, Giancarlo Servideo, John Serves, Pendaleni Shaduka, Jay Shaw, Rosanna Shazadi, Faiz Shakir, Christopher Shea, Tyler Sheamus, Simone Sicurella, Michael Signorelli, Jenny Sagacci, Samantha Silva, Don Simanjuntak, Kristen Simone, Avinash Singh, Brandon Singh, Gurpreet Singh, Robert Skorupski, Carson Snyder, Xiangqi Song, Ainsley Saunier, Paola Sosa, Fanta Sumahoro, Joseph Spencer, Nicole Spina, Ashley Stamp, Christopher Steffel, Matthew Sue, Ashmini Suku, Kayla Sweeney, Christopher Talircio, Christian Talley, Rachel Tanglao Akitanya, Kiana Tangridi, Sabahat Tanvir, Brian Tavares, Diane Titanic, Nicole Titanic, Santam Thomas, Sharon Thomas, Ian Thompson, Yetian, Kendall Times, Olayinka Tinubu, Jessica Tawari, Serafina Tagati, Tien Tong, Darwin Torres, Amanda Tortora, Alexis Tovar, Ronald Tribet, Terrence Triantafilitis, Matt Tupas, Francis Tyson, Joshua Ugakwe, Samantha Ulick, Louisa Yuljic, Jeremiah Umali, Elijah Unapanta, Princewell Uvievo, Alexander Valdez, Lajanique Valentine, Jason Valley, Christopher Valte, Kiera Velez, Ryan Vent, Charles Ventura, Michael Varilli, Omar Vinson, John Vincentian, Justin Vitelio, Jeffrey Voltaire, Andriana Warman, Ronan Walsh, Meredith Weber, Donder Welcome, Sebastian William, Anthony Williams, Yvonne Williams, Autumn Wilson, Karina Wilson, Kevin Womack, Kaylee Wood, Christopher Rabeck, Su Lin Wu, Zeshen Wu Zhang, Jianqin Xiang, Shimin Shu, Rachel Yakubov, Tianyu Yao, Kevin Young, Jia Tin Yin, Sai Ting Yu, Xin Yi Yuan, Angela Yuen, Joseph Zaror, Maxim Zakharyanov, Joseph Zambito, Kaiser Zayer, Nora Zednowski, Mingju Zhang, Eugene Zhang, Shui Jiang, Yuheng Zhang, Pengran Zhao, Yunchen Zhao, Vivian Zhang, Wenhao Zhang, Zhilang Zhou, Leirong Zhu, Vasil Zupnik,
Congratulations to St. John's newest alumni, the graduating class of 2021. As you join the ranks of more than 190,000 living alumni, I encourage you to remain connected and engaged, as many alumni do, as mentors to new generations and as lifelong friends to the St. John's community. We are forever a Catholic and Vincentian family, and we welcome you into the rich culture and traditions of our alumni networks. At this time, I invite our undergraduate degree candidates to stand and participate in a time-honored academic tradition that signifies the conferral of your degree. Please transfer your cap tassel from the right side to the left side. Congratulations. To conclude our virtual commencement and degree conferral ceremony this morning, I am pleased to introduce the St. John's University Mixed Chorus, Voices of Victory, and Alumni, directed by Nigel W. Gretton and Clark Kim Oler, who will perform the St. John's alma mater, Old St. John's. Once again, congratulations, class of 2021.
Thy children here today alone, Old St. John's, our dear St. John's, and true will they be evermore. Old St. John's, our dear St. John's, thy colors bright, the red and white, will wave aloft from morn till night. Victorious will show our light. Old St.